it's amazing. Like it's not easy. Like I never knew like what I wanted to do career wise. Like never knew what I wanted to do that, but I always knew that I wanted to be a dad. And it's just so beautiful and so fulfilling. I don't know. I feel like I was made.
What's up, y'all? D Foss back here with another LT360 podcast. This is officially the last recording of 2021. I'm excited to be here with my cousin, a really good friend of mine as well. Like over the years, we've just completely grown in the same direction in so many ways. He is in Rhode Island. He is a new dad. He is in the mortgage banking industry. Smart guy, lifelong athlete. Just someone, who's been in my corner, and I'd like to keep it that way for the future. His name is John Ferris. What's up, brother?
What's up, my dude? How are you?
Good, man. As always, just keeping things, peachy.
Trying to look. That's the way to do it. You're a little south of Georgia, but it'll still work for you, I think.
Yeah. A little south, but 7 hours to be exact.
Yeah.
Which in Rhode Island is literally 8 states away.
We're far from being peachy up here, dude. I'm in a freaking sweater and you're in a tank top. That's what it says.
Is it? I heard it was really warm up there last week, though.
Yeah, but what's really warm, dude? 50 degrees.
And you just got back from being down here, which is cool.
Yeah, it's all week. It's been raining and cloudy and 35 to 40.
Damn, the
terrible.
The depressing season came in hot.
Yeah. Damn. It's dark at 4:00.
Yeah, that's tough, bro. It's real. So many people, we've been talking about it. I'm always one to have those kinds of conversations and bring that kind of stuff up. And it's been coming up a ton lately. And obviously so many more people are moving here. Half the population here was already not from Florida. So most people you talk to have moved from somewhere that was cold and rainy and they're like, I have enough. I'm going to end up here. But it's so funny to just be able to have these conversations and continue to work alongside you and grow and figure out how we can help each other, because we both have specific niches and specific skill sets that we've acquired, but we both come from very much the same background, in a sense of same family line for one. To just growing up outdoors, playing sports, on the water, so many of those skill sets that kind of led us into the two different things that we're kind of doing day to day in our own kind of journey. But I probably don't tell you enough, but it's been awesome to have you there, bro, for sure.
Much appreciated, bro. Right back at you. I was just thinking back the other day, growing up playing just running around the campground, dude, up there all the time, weeks at a time, hanging out, climbing trees, riding bikes. And then, dude, you were always the baseball guy, always nasty at baseball, always playing baseball. I'd always go to your games with my grandma and everything. And then I remember whatever, I hit high school a little bit before you. And then when you did, so we kind of disconnected for a few years. We'd still run into each other and stuff, but then remember hearing what, Dill's not playing baseball anymore. Dill is nasty at baseball. He's all 100% into football and basketball now. I was like, let's go, bro. And then just to see where that took you, and they go to a couple of your games at LaSalle with your dad and whatever. It was just...
Yeah, bro. And I remember going to I want to say it was one of the state semifinals or finals games for Hendrick and Lacrosse, and watching you play out there and shut it up. Now I'm the one with the lettuce, bro. What? Yeah. How times have changed. I had the military cut back in but it's funny how just us growing up like that. I don't know, for me, I see it all the time in like day-to-day like reactionary life. Like how me and you might respond to a situation is so vastly different than people who didn't grow up running around a campground in their bare feet, like playing sports and just fending for themselves. Like, I don't know, does that hit you sometimes? Like when you're at work and you
Oh
see
yeah, for
who's,
sure.
like, super
Yeah,
pampered growing up, and then all of a sudden like one little thing goes wrong with the fucking copy machine and they go berserk.
yeah.
Like
I mean, it just like everywhere. I mean, like even on like sports teams when you're going through college, like
it's
you
true.
got kids in your team, like still nasty athletes. They're still college athletes, but it's like don't really like want to connect with nature at all, or like really care to like have that natural aspect of
Their life in general.
bare feet, leather soles.
Yeah, none of that. Wild. So to give everyone a little bit more background, paint the picture of like your home life growing up.
Yeah, so grew up in Rhode Island. Mom, dad, little brother, 4 years younger than me. Little brother was adopted when I was in first grade. Has some learning disabilities there, some like autism, Asperger's. So that was definitely challenging growing up. But when you get older, you look back and you're like, I mean, just like the amount of patience that I have and kind of bring to people now, it's like I directly attribute to growing up that way with that. And then, yeah, I mean, I just always played sports when I was young. Literally, I was every single sport that there was possibly to play. Like I was signed up for, and soccer was my first love. Love soccer. Um, Played soccer all through high school. Started lacrosse a little later, but I mean, still when I was like 8 or 9, um, and then fell in love with lacrosse with just the aspect of the game. Spider.
Love it.
Um, yeah, that's the high energiness of the game, the running around, the physicality, the intensiveness, the kind of like it's really lacrosse is such a mix of like soccer with the legs, hockey with the physicality, and like basketball with the way that offense and defense is set up, where like who's the 1-2 slide, like you're on offense, you're okay, are they sliding adjacent, are they sliding from the middle, and kind of playing that chess game on the field where like, all right, I know where your package is coming from. I'm going to drive that way, pull the guy, like my guy knows exactly what to do on the backside. And then, we do our dance and make it happen. So, yeah. So, I mean, I dove into lacrosse full blown in like 8th grade, was on like 5 different teams and just like totally took over.
Bro, it's so funny how we just used to run ourselves into the ground. Like we had
Yeah, dude, I remember like when I was like in 8th grade, I was literally on like 5 different teams, and people would be like, "Oh, like how many days like do you have lacrosse stuff?" And I'm like, 8 days a week. Like one because I love the Beatles, and I was like trying to make a nice reference there, and then two because literally like I had 2 practices twice a week, practice every single day during the week, and then like 2 games Saturday and 3 on Sunday. So I'm like it might as well be 8 days a week.
Yeah,
Like,
might as well, bro.
I have no life outside of playing lax with my boys.
That's how I was with baseball for a long
Yeah,
time.
I know. That's why I was so shocked.
I know. And
Still
then,
am. I
bro,
see you gunning them down out there from
it was the
short.
shoulder, bro. It's the shoulder. Bro,
Yeah.
I mean, playing that much, and I was either at that age, I was just, I was vastly skilled. I could play pretty much anything, but there's 3 major positions really that you need someone who's very capable, and that's catching, pitching, and shortstop.
Yep.
And those were the 3 positions that I played most of.
Mm-hmm.
And if it
Getting
wasn't,
dogged.
Yeah, bro. Just, I mean, a pitcher and catcher on every single throw of the game, they're throwing.
Yeah.
You know, like people think, oh, pitching, and it's like, bro, catching's just as bad. You got to catch it
Yeah.
and throw it back every time.
Every single pitch.
And yeah, man, my shoulder just started giving me issues. I also got dinged off the forehead in middle school with a pitch. So that like that messed with my psyche actually at the plate. Um, and I was like playing the hybrid of small field, big field.
Mhm.
I was young.
Yeah, between the age groups.
Yeah, I was young in my grade, so I was playing middle school on the big field, playing rec league and like travel team on the small field.
Yeah.
And once that transition kind of like fully happened, I wasn't big enough on the big field to have as much of an impact. I was small, bro. Like you remember how small I was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was tiny. So the same impact was I wasn't able to cover as much ground. I wasn't able to throw the ball as far on that field. I wasn't able to run to first base as quickly, swing the bat as fast. All that stuff kind of caught up to me because I did not catch up from a growth spurt wise at that point. So I was like, you know what? Basketball is fun. I love basketball. Let me
Basketball is also dope.
yeah. And I always had a
Um,
shoulder, so the football thing was just like I had to try it.
yeah. It's the only reason I didn't because it was during season and I wasn't
Yeah.
not playing soccer.
Which is funny. I never played soccer.
Yeah.
What
You'd have
a,
been good.
I know. I feel like that's
And,
the
I mean, dude, the foot-eye coordination, I still use it to this day. I'm not swoop, doop, doop.
yeah. Doop, doop, doop.
Picking things up off the ground with my
Yeah.
toes all day long.
That's from wearing no shoes and being out. You know, that's what that is. You got feet for hands. I mean,
Yeah.
hands for feet. Oh, that's funny. Um, so yeah, I mean, the other part that I feel like you might have left out was that you grew up in Southern Rhode Island, closer to the water and the beaches.
Hmm.
You're very much a water. You're a fish, bro. Like,
Yeah, very much a water guy. I mean, I was lucky enough to grow up for, a good chunk of my years before my little brother was adopted with my parents, like on a boat every summer, like on the ocean, going to Block Island, Long Island, Cape Cod or something, like fishing. Remember, like when I was little growing up, like in the harbor, you used to have like little dinghy races. So you're like a bunch of little like 12 and unders like ripping around in a dinghy, like in a circle. It's like there's no way they do them anymore, dude. It's so dangerous.
no shot.
Like,
That is not a 2021 approved activity.
yeah. Yeah, we're gonna call that not politically accurate. Yeah, so I mean I spent both of the schools I went to for college were in the mountains in the Blue Ridge Mountains in the South. So I went to one school in North Carolina, another in Virginia. The mountains are awesome. I love the mountains, love the forest and kind of that whole atmosphere, but I always just get brought back to Mother Ocean somewhere. Just the vastness and just like sitting at a beach and staring out or being out in a boat and being like so far offshore where you can't see land in any direction. You're like 20 something miles and it's like, I'm tiny. It's like the same feeling you get when you're just sitting there looking up at the stars, like, all right, like that star might not even be there anymore.
Yeah. I'm literally looking at the past. That's a mind-boggling concept. And bro, the conversation yesterday that I had with my boy Stefan, who you've seen in a bunch of my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He and I were sitting in his backyard and we were sitting on the canal and it was like super peaceful and quiet, and like not too often down here do I get to go near water that's not the beach, right? Like I don't really get to experience that too much. And he lives on this canal, nice and quiet. It's just surrounded by there's houses all over the place, but not like packed on top of each other like sardines, like some of South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real like loud roads or interstates or anything like that around, so it's quiet. It's nice. Because and I was, having the conversation, like, what's the difference? Like, why does it feel so much more peaceful here than in the beach? He was like, the beach is like super simple, bro. Like, there's just, there's an aspect of it that's just like water and beach, but the difference of like being in like something that's foresty, it has this sensation of like there's so many different shapes and colors and shadows and things like around you, where the
Mm-hmm.
beach just seems to be like it's sand, it's water. And I was like, oddly enough, I feel like now looking at it, I take the simplicity out of the beach because I like to go underwater and free dive and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's all of a sudden the same exact scenario, right? Like it all of a
Yeah. Yeah.
sudden
Yeah.
becomes so much more complicated underwater. There's so much more stimuli there than just looking at it surface level. Um, and it was cool. We were having that whole conversation. No drugs involved. It was just like pure.
Yeah, that's dope, dude. Yeah. I mean, as far like little settings like that, like stuff like, lakes that we grew up on, and like
Yeah.
you said, forests, mountains, like maybe in somewhere that's not a beach but still watery. There's also just like a lot more non-human life.
Mm-hmm. It's a valid
So
point.
it's like
On the
it all
beach,
brings a
all
different
human.
energy. Like you're like, like you sit still and you look and you start seeing like a whole bunch of those little like bugs that walk on the water, and you're
Yeah.
like, whoa. And then you might see like, I don't know, you're in Florida, a freaking lizard or some shit running at you.
Iguanas, gators,
Yeah.
ducks, all sorts of otters and things like that. And then in another note, that's the one thing I miss about like up north is like natural freshwater bodies that like you can go enjoy and swim in and like be involved with. That's why when I went up to those Ginny Springs or Guinea Springs, however
Yeah,
people,
yeah, yeah.
I was in heaven, bro. I was like, this is
Those
natural
are amazing.
water. Like I can just jump in and be completely like void of all concern and disconnect like purely, and it's not
Yeah.
salt water. It's not the ocean. There was something like so charismatic about that just because it felt like Rhode Island. And it was cold. It was like chilly. So it really felt really felt natural for a while there. But let's talk more about what you studied in college.
In college, I mean, nothing too sexy. I mean, business administration with a focus in marketing. I was working in the digital marketing space. I mean, I took an extenuated break from college. I just did my freshman year, and then I took like 3 years off. Then I went back to finish sophomore, junior, senior. Um, so yeah, after my freshman year, I was just came back and started working, and got into doing like online digital marketing stuff and whatnot, and had built up a decent little resume and had some clients that I was doing some freelance work for and stuff like that. So I figured that I was just gonna roll with that. So I was like, I'll just be a marketing major in school, and then see where that takes me, and then get the marketing degree, and then graduate and end up in finance. So
And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Mhm. Such a classic movie.
yeah, but it's, I mean, school was a school. My second school was in Asheville, North Carolina, and that was just like a life changing 3.5 years. Just between playing lacrosse at the collegiate level, um, doing school. I started the business club at the school because it was a really small school, um, and I had a couple, three best friends all went to like Boston College, and kind of saw what their like business club was able to do as far as like giving them money after they
Mm.
graduated to start like investing in their startup before they had to like go get real jobs. I mean, obviously you have to have like a huge amount of alumni backing and like donations and whatever to be able to do that, but you got to start somewhere. So yeah, that was cool. And then I did my 200-hour yoga certification while I was down there, met like incredible guru that definitely just got like brought to me, and that was just amazing. So that's why you and I really kicked off on that with breath work, stretches, all that good stuff. That's why when I mean we would always keep in touch through that, but like well, I remember like definitely when I hit into that, we like our conversations exploded with like good stuff.
And we started getting together, working out, going for swims, going kayak. Really started.
Yeah. Whenever I was back, because you were really, taking off with the personal training stuff, and I was never really a big like gym membership guy or whatever. Like I'm all about home workouts or just like going and playing a sport and like dying. So I'd love to just hit you up, dude. We'd work out at the beach, dude. Freaking doing like chin-ups on underneath staircases.
Dude, yes, we rode our bikes to go see what's his name?
Timmy.
Yeah. How funny, bro. Wow. Yeah, we had some great sessions, dude. That whole summer was amazing.
We did. Oh yeah, well also what coincided with that for me was my whole diet shift. Like I like watched some documentary on food and was like appalled. So I was like, I'm a vegetarian from now on, and like took my swing at that for a while. I mean, I did very good, but like I was not feeding my body what I needed to be in the weight room, working out, cardio, doing what I was doing, running on the field, doing what I was doing. I mean, you can't just like go buy vegan, gluten-free frozen pizzas and and dump a bunch of cheese on pasta and call it vegetarian. Like, I mean, you can, but it's not going to work for you very well. So I remember like, So I remember going through that, like doing the vegetarian, did the vegan, had some great conversations with you on it. Was vegan for a while. Didn't have any red meat for like 4 years.
And I was
and then now I kind of just like dialed into a very like sustainable, holistic, local food sourcing kind of life where
balanced.
Just try and eat everything as local as I can, especially meat. Get my eggs from my neighbor. Get the cows are like 1.5 miles up the street.
I love it, bro.
Get the fish from the ocean right behind,
And mention, where you are now.
Yeah, so I'm still in Rhode Island, North Kingstown. So I just bought a house in like August. So I'm like still like a 1.5 miles from the bay, from the ocean. So
so cool.
Fishing and all that good stuff, and access to fresh fish, fresh scallops, lobsters, oysters, boom, all that good stuff, dude.
Bro, we're so well known for seafood. It's crazy. And like I didn't really realize it until I left, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it always laugh when I'm on vacation, because like you always want good food when you're on vacation. You always want to like go out and like, like I'll spend some money on like some good food, blah blah blah, and like we go down places in the South, I mean, like especially around Florida, and it's like New England clam chowder, Maine lobster, oysters from Rhode Island. It's like I ate that back home, dude. And it's like the same thing with with Italian restaurants. Like, like I'm sure there's plenty of great Italian restaurants out there, but like we literally live in the capital mecca of the original Italians of America.
Yeah.
In Providence, Rhode Island.
The Italian mob literally ran the entire country out of Providence.
Yeah, from Providence.
Federal Hill.
So like our Italian restaurants are I mean, I don't think they can get much better. Yeah.
Second to none, bro. It's crazy. Yeah, it's funny. trying to find certain food demographics down here. Food culture is so weird. And like even
Such a melting pot down
it
there.
is, but it almost dilutes the ability for some of them to stand out. Or
That makes total sense.
Or it might just be too big of a place. And there might be too many businesses. Like it's a very capitalistic, esque place down here. Where there's not as much of like a Republican capitalistic approach to life up there. That I don't know if that plays a factor, but like something, because Rhode Island is also a melting pot. Like I tell people that, Cambodian was like one of the major staples in my high school. And they're like, Cambodian, what are you talking about? Like the amount of Cambodians I know, the amount of Cambodian parties and picnics and like friends I had, like unreal. And then like the Cambodian food is also huge up there. There's plenty of places you can go up there for great Cambodian food that I grew up with in the Rhode Island, like Providence line. I mean the Cranston, Rhode Island line. I don't know. It's interesting. The Dominican food up there is amazing.
Some good Spanish food up here.
Yeah, bro.
Latina food up here.
Yeah.
Latin.
So good. And most of it, now that I moved out, I realize is Dominican, and Puerto Rican. But down here, it's like Haitian, mostly Haitian, which has more of a French feel, So there's a lot of Bolivian, Peruvian, and Haitian down here. And then Brazil just is like the Mecca. This is Brazil nation.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so interesting. Because like I couldn't tell you 2 good Brazil restaurants down here.
Down there?
Yeah, like I could not even name 2 good ones. And I've lived here.
You could Google them though. I'm sure they're there.
Yeah, but like that's not the talk of the town. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Which is interesting.
The big Brazilian things are those meat houses.
Steakhouses, yeah.
Yeah, they're steakhouse, but I call them meat houses.
Meat houses, yeah.
Because they just walk around with a big ass tender. Like, you want some steak, you want some chicken, you want some pork.
Yeah,
like,
so true. Super cool. All right, let's switch gears here. I mean, obviously, since we'll transition it through the fact that you met your now wife, right, in those 3 years,
in North Carolina also.
3 years in college, and you got married almost 2 years ago, or has it been 2 years?
2.5 years.
Because it was a September wedding.
Yeah, September 19.
Yeah. So yeah, coming up on 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Crazy. Should be blessed and thankful that you got it in before the world went up in flames.
No kidding, dude. I had so many friends still that had weddings planned and just
crazy.
Ruined them.
Yeah, it's wild. So that was cool. I remember flying up there for the weekend. Loved every second of that. And from there, now you got a little boy. So let's talk about, if I had to ask you, this is a totally selfish question, but it'll probably be helpful for people our age that are in my scenario or situation, right? Someone who's not married, someone who doesn't have kids, doesn't own a home. What if I had to ask one thing that you've learned the most from marriage, one thing you've learned the most from having a child, and one thing you've learned the most from now owning a home? Could you give me a solid answer? Is that too much?
Well, I don't know if I could give you one thing like I've learned the most from each off rip, but we can start with owning a home because that for me is the easiest because I just love tending the land. Like my grandpa's a general contractor. Like I've done my fair share of carpentry and stuff like that. Like I love to work on a house. I already have a running list that never shortens and only gets longer. And doing little projects and stuff like that. I mean, owning a house is one of those, I mean, it's like your body in the sense where if you just own a house and you decide not to do anything for it or to it or take care of it for 5 years, well, you're gonna have a whole lot of problems at the end of that 5 years.
Mm-hmm. So now, what characteristic or trait do you think that's like cultivated from?
Obviously,
like your life experience, but I'm trying to think of like a characteristic trait that.
Yeah, no, there's an actual word that I'm sure you would love. No, I'm not gonna find it right now.
Nothing.
I'll send it to you though.
Yeah, for sure.
But like that's literally whatever the word is. That's the definition of the word. It's like
a caretaker.
When you just everything's in a constant state of dying.
Mm-hmm.
Or being taken over by something else unless cared for.
Like
so that. If you don't weed your garden bed in 2 years is gonna look terrible.
Yeah, and
like if you don't wipe the dust off the shelf, your shelf is gonna look like, I mean, you're gonna be having allergies. It's gonna be hurting you. It's so
changes it's constant, right?
Yeah. So it's cool to actually have like, a piece of land and like a home, first of all, where I work in that business. So we like our CEO always paints a picture where like everybody deserves to live in a home that they love. And like, well, what does that mean? Well, it means that, like I left work, I had a crazy work day, just people all over me all day. And, I'm driving home and I'm still just mindlessly not listening to the radio or music or anything. My hands are clenched on the steering wheel and I'm driving or whatever. And then like I take that turn onto my road and like I see my house and I literally, like, you're taking a deep breath and you're like, all right, like I'm home. Like
there's a
things
sense
can still happen to me, but like I'm here. Like I know that I'm safe here.
And that's a safe haven. It's a hub. It's a place to decompress your thoughts and gather new ones and then bring them out into the world, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then, I mean, marriage is like the most beautiful partnership between two people. Like Faith and I did a premarital workbook with another one of our friends who had been married for a couple of years, and like we bought it and we brought it to them. We asked them to kind of like go through the book with us. And
nice.
Like, I mean, I think that should be a prerequisite to anybody getting married, first of all, because literally like we sat down and like in the very front of the book, it's like we're going through every single thing that like you could try to like hold on to for yourself. Mm-hmm. And we're going to see like what we all feel about that. And like, we're going to sit down, we're going to do that here in a safe environment. And if at any point, like it gets to somewhere where it's not going to happen anymore, then like we're going to all honestly just be like, okay, it's not a good idea to get married.
Wow.
Because like you really got to go through like finances, debts, goal. What's your goal with that? Like, how much do you want to have sex? Like, how much do you like, what are you like 3, 5, 10-year goal? Like
children,
morals, children, like all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. like what each person about like love languages, like what's your love language, how can you help your other person live their best life, because that's ultimately what you want.
I like that.
I was like blessed enough to not like, my parents had a very, still have an amazing marriage, and like I always looked up to that, like that's what marriage is. And like as I got older, like most of my friends' parents are like divorced or had a terrible relationship, and like they're so bitter, and like I mean honestly, dude, like being out and like hearing guys amongst guys like make jokes like on their wives, or just like stuff like that in general, is like, well, you're holding that bitterness in there somewhere, dude, and like that's not healthy.
The resentment of that, the emotional struggle of that, the tension that creates physically and emotionally and spiritually is so
Mm-hmm.
detrimental.
Yeah, so just like after we did that, I mean, I just felt like I've never been more deeply connected to a human being.
Mm.
And of course, we have up and goods and bad days, and we still snap at each other, and we have attitude, and we're like normal people. But I know, like she's my rock. Like
Mhm.
I know that I can go to her with anything, whatever. She can come to me with anything, whatever. Like I don't have to worry about what other people say, think, do, or whatever. So I'm not just like a single guy out here trying to like do my thing. Like who will like, what's my MO? Like blah blah blah. This like I just roots you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know her intentions, she knows your intentions, and that set of morals is behind every action and behind every word that's said. And with that comes a peace of mind that allows you to say,
Yeah,
okay,
100% of peace of mind.
yeah, I
And
get
then like the ability to,
and I get where you're coming from, but ultimately I know what the intention is, and you didn't mean it to come off like that, and that's okay. I get it. I'm something that we can work on and mend, and that's fine. We'll move on.
right, exactly. And I mean, it's just like a whole new level of accountability for your own
Hmm.
dreams and aspirations, because now they're not just yours.
They're collaborative.
So like we sit down together, we're like, okay, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 2021 goal was to buy a house. Like check that off the list. Now we're working towards year 3 and 5 plan, and we have to, like double check with ourselves. Like it's like, are we always making those steps? Are we doing the right things? Are we hitting that? Like
Or is that still a goal, right? Yeah,
yeah,
those
exactly.
things.
To be like, well, are you working towards this? Because like what you just did over here, like
Didn't
doesn't
see.
really seem like it. So
I like that. You guys have every glimpse of that relationship that I've seen seems to be amazingly balanced and just um it just seems to be a perfect symmetry of like where your minds are and how you guys can take on different roles and scenarios and situations both socially and like interpersonally. Uh,
mm,
it's commendable, bro. That's amazing.
yeah,
um and then you talk about like the final thing that's a result of both.
fatherhood, baby.
Yeah, that's the big.
This is not my line about fatherhood, but it never, no line on fatherhood is, or how I feel about being a dad has ever struck me so true as Matthew McConaughey's line in his book he came out with last year, Green Lights. Great read. If you haven't read it, check it out. Easy, Audible. He reads it if
Nice.
that's what you want to do,
I
but
can listen
definitely
to
check
his
it out.
voice.
Yeah, his voice is dope. I actually read his book and I did the audio, so I've gone through it twice, because the audio book, I mean, he's telling the stories
Yeah.
Because all right, real quick off track. He's kept a daily journal since he was like 15 years old. So this book is a memoir like of his life and basically of the scenarios, situations, and things that happened all through and that like have collectively made him to what he is. So like he literally like went out into the Joshua Tree for like a week with a backpack and all of his journals from his entire life and went through all of them and had a fresh empty journal and like started writing down like, okay, like we'll take this out, like blah blah blah. And then kind of like put it together in the book and like it's really cool. It's a super easy read / listen. But I like I said, so I he said it best that there's a lot of options, a lot of professions, a lot of things that you can do in life. And I never, like I told you, I went to school for marketing, landed in finance. Like I never knew what I wanted to do. But one thing I always knew that I wanted to do was be a dad. So, I mean, the amount of just like joy, fulfillment, and purpose that comes out of just loving a little guy like that is, dude, it's amazing. Like it's not easy. Like, I mean, he wakes up super freaking early every day and I'm sitting in bed and I'm hearing him like, okay, like I'll go up in there, like I'm like dragging my feet into his room, like open his door and he's like standing there, like, Dada. And I'm like, I'm just so happy to see you now.
Yeah, bro. That's amazing.
And just like brings all the energy right in.
That like sense.
So I mean, I can truly say that I never knew like what I wanted to do career wise. Like never knew what I wanted to do that, but I always knew that I wanted to be a dad, and it's just so beautiful and so fulfilling, and I don't know, I love it. I do. I feel like I was made
for it. Feel like I was made for it. What is the song?
Feel like I was made for it.
Like it's a country song. It's by Florida Georgia Line. Is it?
What? I mean, yeah. If you're talking Florida Georgia Line, they got a song "Grow Old" that's like about meeting your girlfriend, then getting married, absolutely nothing, eating ramen out of the microwave, and then like scratching some pennies together to be able to buy a piece of land, and then like what that piece of land turns into, and then you're able to sit on that same front porch and you're watching your kids play, and then next thing you know, like you gave a piece of that land to your kids, they have their own family over there, and like they're coming over with like all their kids, and it's just
that's the old
dude, that's
like Midwestern vibe right there, for sure.
That's the straight South vibe.
Yeah. That's
we don't do that in Rhode Island, but yeah, it's a good. It sounds good in a song.
Yeah. So the one I'm thinking of is "My Old Man" by Zach Brown Band. Have you heard this?
Oh yeah, I know that one. That's a good one too. Yeah, I have.
This is one of my favorites. I remember the day my dad sent this to me.
I was just a kid. I was always trying.
Your dad sent that to you?
My dad sent it to me, yeah. And I was.
That means even more.
I know, dude. It was in college. He sent it to me. And it was like a tough time, and he ended up sending it to me one day, and I was like, wow. I think it might have been after his mom had passed. It was around that time. And yeah, bro, that song has made me think, or what your story made me think of it, just because of like that sensation that you can't explain, that something of like you're you walk in like dragging your feet, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, Jack, what's up, man? I can't be mad at you."
Yeah, there's nothing else matters at all. Like, I just want to make him smile and belly laugh and tickle him,
Yeah.
tell him to go get on his tractor because he's obsessed with tractors
Tractors,
and
right.
whatever. It's great.
That's funny, man. So he enjoyed his first Christmas.
Yeah, so
Well,
first Christmas, like, when he could actually open gifts.
Yeah.
So he was 6 months old last Christmas.
Yeah.
But because he's actually, so funny enough, his half-year birthday is to the day of Christmas.
Yeah. So
He's June 25th is his birthday.
18 months.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So yeah, he was like actually opening presents and stuff this year, and just like so excited, running all around. I mean, like, we honestly, Faith and I didn't even buy him anything because my parents, grandparents, cousins, aunt, uncles, like, bought him so much stuff.
I bet. Yeah. What did you guys end up doing for the holidays? You guys were at your would you go to Gramps and Bob's house?
Yeah, we went to my parents' house. Like, we just woke up, did our thing here in the morning, and then went over there for breakfast and like open our like family presents with my mom and dad. Then came back to my house, put Jack down for a nap, posted up, chilled after eating a big breakfast.
Nice.
And then went back over there after Jack's nap, and then grandparents, Kelsey, Chris, aunt, uncles, other aunt and uncles all came over there. So
Nice.
very nice day.
Yeah, sounds like it. Everyone was good. Everyone's hopefully doing well. Yeah. I still got to reach out to Kelsey and Carissa and talk to them. Just give them a call. It's funny, bro. Like, the aspect of having so many like aunts, uncles, and cousins because of like my direct place in my family, and like the amount of people that, like, if you don't see, you don't talk to, is so strange once you
Right.
get into the 25 plus range of life.
Yeah.
It's so interesting how those relationships morph and change. It's been something on my mind a lot lately, just because I've been experiencing it a ton. And it's funny because it doesn't change the way you feel or view or like think about the person. It's just literally like, holy shit, there's not enough time in the day for me to literally reach out or talk to or like keep communication with.
Yeah, I might think about him at like 6:30 in the morning, and it's not appropriate to call anybody at that time. And then I might remember at 9:30, like, damn, I didn't do that. And then it's also not appropriate to call anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. I wake up to missed calls all the time, and it's like 10 past 9, and people are like text me at like 11 o'clock after they called me at 9:10, 9:15, and they're like, bro, you're just not gonna like answer me back. And I wake up at 5 a.m. and I like look at my phone, and I'm like, oh damn, I have 6 text messages and 4 missed calls, and I'm like, I mean, it wasn't even that late. I was just out. I was asleep.
Yeah. And then you respond, at 5 a.m. and then again at 10 a.m. You're like, damn, bro, you're just not gonna respond. You're still sleeping, you bum.
Yeah. It's funny how that works though. Because just some people live different lifestyles, or that happens to me often with like all sorts of people and friends and clients. Like, I have clients that are night owls, and they'll text me late, and like I won't see it.
Oh yeah,
like 10 hours later in the morning. It's funny. Speaking of which, I wanted to mention that one of my like top goals this year, Amy and I, we both want to get our certification in yoga, 200-hour yoga certs. And
nice, dude.
Bro, I still think about all the time the one workout in particular that we did in your parents' garage, and we were doing I mean, this was pretty early on in my journey for the most part of like the yoga stuff. And I remember you teaching me like the intricacies of inhaling and then exhaling, like you're pressing a
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
walls closing in on you or like an elevator door closing.
Uh-huh.
And I do that with
Yeah.
clients like pretty regularly. And every time I envision us sitting in the garage doing that. Literally every
On
time.
concrete.
Yes, bro. Every time.
On
Like
the floor.
I cannot get it out of my head. It doesn't matter how many times I say it to clients.
Uh,
That's the one thing that sits in my head. And I remember you talking about um your yoga teacher and like just how much of like a guru he was, like meditating for like 7 hours a
yeah, dude.
day,
Yeah,
homeschooling his kids.
tuned in.
Yeah, just super tuned in. And
Full vegan, like grows a bunch of food.
yeah, and how he was doing like retreats and just like teaching people via retreats and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
bro, that sits in my
Yeah, it
head.
was dude, I was in college. So like I had no money. So he was new to the town, and like one of the ways he was getting out was doing athletic yoga for like sports teams. So he had gone to like the colleges and talked to the coaches and been like, hey, like bring your team over for like team yoga, blah blah blah. And lacrosse players, like we're all just so weird. Like our like it's like, yeah, like yoga, we're team yoga, let's go do
Let's
it.
go. Going to
Um,
yoga, boys.
yeah, yes. So this guy came. I was like, oh my gosh, like I've never ever had an instructor, like a yoga class, like led by an instructor like this guy before. Like this guy is like this guy's something's going on here.
Nice.
And then I talked to him afterwards or whatever. We kind of hit it off. He told me where his like studio was. So I went to a couple of classes or whatnot. And then at the end of one of the classes, like he made the announcement about doing 200-hour teacher credit certification. And I was like, wow, like that sounds dope. But I'm in college, bro. I'm broke. I cannot spend a couple $100 on a yoga certification.
Yeah.
And he's like, you want to do it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, do it. You just show up. Like, you don't got to bring me any money. He's like,
Wow. Sick, dude.
that's what we're about. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, well, then I feel even more like obligated to go than even if I probably had paid for it myself. Where like,
that's true.
all right, this guy obviously, I don't know, like he likes me, he sees something in me, like our energy's vibing or something, like
that's
and we still talk to. He's one of the most amazing humans on this planet.
I'm still do
down. That's without a doubt.
Yeah, he still does retreats.
Dude, if you can find like 4 other people to do it with you and Amy that want to do the yoga cert, he'll fly there for like 4 days, and he'll put himself up and he'll do it with you guys.
Connect us.
I will. I'll do that after this.
Okay, cool. Now break down what that cert looked like. Was it, a week? Was it 8 weeks? Was it,
No,
weekends?
yeah.
Like, what was it?
A lot of weeks. I don't even remember how many weeks, honestly. It was a lot of weeks, dude. It was a lot of time. I think like, we did.
When I used to do, to give like the backstory, like when I was in college doing my rotational hours, I had to do 200 hours per semester. So I would, put in 20 hours a week or whatever, for 10 weeks over the course of, 3 or 4 days a week, at whatever school.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was pretty elongated. I don't remember the exact amount of weeks, but I'm pretty sure we did like a twice a week at night from like 6 to 9. And then like every other weekend or every third weekend, we would do a Friday night, 6 to 9, Saturday morning, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to like 2 p.m.
Yeah, that's tough.
And he would do those for like the deep dives into the different like methods of yoga, like hatha yoga, kriya, to like get us learning all those very specific, what's different from movement yoga, breathwork yoga, workout yoga, spiritual yoga, straight meditation. Like some weekends would just be straight meditation. It's like, whoa.
That's a deep dive.
That was nuts. It was amazing.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that was definitely transformative for you, huh? Just like how you view the world.
Yeah, big time.
Exercise, the body, morals, right? All of it.
Breath, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Spirituality, everything. Yeah, that was awesome. It's definitely I'm pretty detached from it right now, sadly enough to say, but it's one of my top things to add back into my agenda, or at least carve out time to do.
Yeah. And in terms,
I remember even like coming home, like while I was doing the training, and like coming home for like a short weekend for like Thanksgiving or something, and just like sitting in my house, like talking with my mom or whatever. Something happens in the house or whatever, then like my mom just looks at me. She's like, wow, like that yoga stuff really works. Like you're pretty calm. Like you definitely would have snapped before.
That's hilarious. And that's the whole practice, basis, right? Like it's a life tool. It's not like a workout form. And
learning how to conquer your mind is totally something you can do.
Yeah. And what Western societies mostly turned it into like a way to break a sweat and work out.
Right, which that's not how I use my yoga practice at all.
Yeah.
I'll go play basketball or lacrosse for that. True. Ride my bike.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Yeah, me and her did like 30-minute flow class this morning, which is mostly westernized from like that standpoint, but this guy's good. He has like a massive following on YouTube. So we did a follow along class. It was just him in his backyard on the patio, like walking us through. It's mostly down dogs, warriors, and Shavasana's. Not Shavasana. Shavasana's the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cobra.
My favorite part.
Yeah, Shavasana's at the end is by far my part. But
the floating part.
What's the flow from like lowering yourself down into Cobra, then into down dog? What is the name for that concept?
Doing sun salutations and standing up.
There you go. Sun salutations. I think that's it.
Those are great. We used to do a whole lot of those.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that like.
But again, like we broke it down from the very beginning. Like each, just like in the garage, dude. Like each. Everything. We didn't just start out doing sun salutations. Like we started out doing each intricate movement that involves all the way through the sun salutation. Mm-hmm. And then once you understand how to properly breathe and move all the way through a sun salutation,
it's when you bring them together.
Then you start doing them over and over and over. Mm-hmm. And it's really important to breathe correctly, like while you're doing it. Like all those doing the sun salutations, all like it's all breath work to flow with the body.
It's a flow energy. Yeah, it's an energy flow. Yeah, and if you got a rope, bro, I feel like you would be someone who would be awesome at the rope flow stuff.
It looks so much fun, dude.
Yeah,
it looks mad fun.
You would definitely dig it. And because I know you're a big kettlebell guy too, like you like to mess around and work on kettlebell stuff. And,
yeah.
you're always tagging me in on it giveaways and trying to get some primal
I
kettlebell.
know, always. Every time they have one.
Every time.
I haven't won yet.
Yeah. Not yet, though. Hey, you got to keep playing. It's better than playing the lottery.
Not yet. Not yet. I'll keep tagging.
Yeah, please do, bro. I'm gonna
Yeah, I'll keep
play
tagging
everything
you.
alongside with you.
I just had those sick custom painted ones.
Yeah, those ones are so cool. And
Those
the
ones were
wild thing,
sick.
like those go for buco bucks, like crazy, like $4, $5, $6
Yeah.
a pound. You know, so you get a 70-pound
Yeah.
kettlebell and you're paying $500 for it. It's like, whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a little too much.
For sure. Yeah, that's why you enter the giveaway. That's why you hope for the good stuff. You hope.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Um,
Disclaimer, I am on my work laptop right now and I
Yeah.
have a restart that I cannot override in 11 minutes and 39 seconds.
bro, you're good.
It's
I
telling
was
me
gonna
when it's gonna
say,
jump
you
down.
know, we're due for another one. I think we can start to wrap this up. I don't know if there's anything else you want to hit on. If there's any key points you want to hit on or things you want to ask me. I always try to pass.
Yeah, no, I mean that. Yeah, no, I definitely. So we didn't get to the gut cleanse at all, which we can dive into more next time because it's definitely more than 11 minutes of a conversation
Yeah.
that I'd love to have with you in front of everybody that tunes in. But I did my first one last year with some of your guidance and then some just like dive into some Ayurvedic medicine stuff and like whatever, just like kind of branched out in net, kind of figured what might work for me and what not. And when I did it last year, dude, like I think I remember texting you or calling you on like day 2 and being like, dude, I think I'm dying. Like my intestines feel like I ate a whole bunch of razor blades. Like I've been sitting on a toilet all day. Like
Yeah. You're
and you're like,
sending
bro, it's
some
the worst
worms
day.
out,
You'll be good tomorrow.
Hey, you woke up and you felt better.
Yeah, well, and then at the end of it, you were like, bro, the first one's always the worst. Like keep it going. Like every year, like you know, you should reset your microbiome and whatnot. So yeah, so I just did one. Got my buddy to do it with me. It was good, but honestly, it was not good because we were crushing it through the first 5 days or whatever, but I was only going to do a 5-day. I was only going to do it like a kind of like a mini like 5-day one, dude. And then Christmas came on Saturday and I ate so much bad food. I was literally laid up all day on Sunday.
Oh no.
With
That's
just knives in my stomach. That's what it's not for. I'm like, I need to do another one now because I didn't even rebuild. I didn't even rebuild properly. Like I just like started from scratch and then like all of a sudden just like gave myself a bunch of sugar,
fresh
processed carbs,
and you just started growing the worst shit you could.
Dude. So
that's
but
it's kind of a
I
win.
felt like the best I felt all year by like on like day 5, like right before that at least. So I feel great now.
Cool. Good. Well, the other thing is, in part, you did set yourself up to be able to deal with Saturday better and eating a book. You did set yourself up better for that. Did you take advantage of the optimistic opportunity you had? No, but it's okay.
Yeah, no, I should have waited till after because I mean, how am I supposed to pass up big ziti, big ham on the bone, like upside down French toast, egg casseroles for breakfast? Like, dude,
my mouth is watering right now.
Yeah, I ate so much food.
That sounds delicious. It's very easy to I have a couple of clients that I've worked with nutritionally that have just a basic understanding of like holistic wellness, Ayurvedic principles, um, just people that are like common sense oriented and in tune with their body. And it's so much easier
Mhm.
to work with. Um, you are definitely one of those people that was just like, I explained it to you, it was comprehensive, you understood it, you realized like, hey, I'm an adult, and if I have like a very minor question, it's probably very minor, so it's like don't necessarily, like, it's not going to make or break it, kind of thing, where
Right,
some
right,
people are so like, you have to, be so major specific, and then they'll come back and they'll take the most like simplistic version of something that you've ever explained and completely complicate it and ask you it in 7 different ways. Um, but it's always cool to just work with someone who just in general just understands, can take a little bit of guidance and then run away with it. And
hmm
you've been that exact person that was just like, all right, cool. Like, I get the understanding principles, and I'm just going to utilize these, add a little bit of my own spice to it, literally, and move through it and apply it to my life.
literally.
Yeah, literally. A little turmeric and
Yeah,
ginger.
my signature, yeah, my signature gut cleanse morning drink is full aloe leaf, cut
Mhm.
off like a nice section, big chunk of ginger root peeled, big chunk of turmeric peeled, big squirt of lemon juice, a little bit of honey, and like tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Just
Mhm.
down it first thing in the morning.
And what do you do? You're taking in what, like 4, 6, 8 ounces, 2 ounces?
Yeah, like 6.
Typical.
I just like throw some coconut water in there just to blend it up.
And it also adds a little bit of sweet flavor and taste to it, which is great.
Right. That's why I throw a little bit of honey in there too, because aloe, ginger, and apple cider vinegar,
Which
dude,
they're all
like
good for it. Yeah, and
and they're all disgusting.
but the honey and the coconut water like are also adding a boatload of their
It,
own benefits and minerals and nutrients.
yeah, and it makes it manageable. Like, oh, this isn't that bad, and it's really, really good for me. And you literally like 30 minutes later, you feel it move in your insides like right away. Like, okay, like let's get fresh and started for the day.
For the most part, the biggest part about that is that our colons are where dis-ease starts. Um, in 90+% of all cases of disease, like a lot of it starts and stems in the colon. And that right
Mm-hmm.
there allows the colon to really be dismantled and cleaned out and cleansed, and that's what's going to be most beneficial systemically to the entire body from an inflammatory standpoint. um and yeah, I mean, it's invigorating when you do it and you don't realize you could ever feel that good, right? It's pretty wild once
Yeah,
you
I'm on the annual gut cleanse hype, dude. I'm on the train.
I do it biannually. I do it twice a year. Um, just because I feel like that 6 month gap, it's like having a beer on a Wednesday for some
Yeah,
people, like they feel like they have to
I
in order
knew
to
I needed it.
end. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's inquisitive.
yeah, no, it's a good idea. I really knew that I needed it. Like my energy was dragging,
Mhm.
like my fatigue had built up, like my mental clarity wasn't there, like all through the work day, just kind of like being cloudy, groggy in the afternoon, just like not being hopping out of bed, ready to go in the morning, like clear, like,
Yeah.
and
You
that's not normally how I am. So I'm like, all right, like I need to reset something here. Let's
do
start with
something.
the gut.
Smart man. Smart man. That's an intuitiveness, man. But it's been awesome chatting, chopping it up with you on here. We'll definitely do this again. Much love to you, man.
We
Say hi to
must.
the family, say hi to Faith, the baby. Uh, get a good night's rest. Have a great happy new year. for everyone listening. It'll
Thank
be
you, you too, dude.
but any other
Happy 2022, everybody listening, because it's already there.
yes. If anyone wants to get in contact with you, to maybe talk, mortgage brokering and all of that stuff, because you are able to handle that in just seems like tons of different states.
And
In Florida too.
yep, Florida, up and down the East Coast. Yep.
So if anyone wants to get in contact with you, how could they do that?
Yeah, I mean, probably my Instagram is just John W. Ferris. That's probably the easiest thing to just remember. JOHNWFERRIS.
Bam, there it is. Cool. Much love, dude. Thank you. I appreciate it for everyone listening. Remember, I am, we are, life is limitless. Peace, love, and positivity.
See you, brother.
Much love, dude. Get
Much
some
love,
rest.
everyone. You too, man.